Have you ever noticed that the more money you make, the tighter your chest feels at the end of the month? It's a strange paradox of modern life in the West. We spend our 20s working toward a specific number, 60,000 euros, $80,000, maybe even six figures. We tell ourselves that once we hit that mark, the math of life will finally work. The anxiety will dissolve. But then the promotion comes. The salary hits the bank account. And within 3 months, the familiar feeling of being just okay returns. Today, we're exploring why a high salary in the US or Europe is no longer a guarantee of financial peace, and how the very systems designed to reward your hard work are often the ones keeping you stationary. Let's look at a typical professional. Let's call him Mark. Mark is 31, living in a secondary city like Lyon, Munich, or perhaps Denver. He's just secured a senior role paying $95,000 a year to his parents. This sounds like an astronomical sum. In their day, that was wealth. To Mark, it feels like he's finally arrived. But let's look at the quiet erosion of that $95,000. First, the government takes its share. After federal and state taxes, health insurance premiums, and retirement contributions, Mark's monthly take-home isn't nearly $8,000. It's closer to $5,400. Now, the lifestyle begins to fill the container because Mark is a senior manager. He feels he can no longer live in the apartment with the mismatched kitchen cabinets. He moves to a modern complex closer to the city center. Rent and utilities now claim $2,200. He needs a reliable car, something that reflects his professional standing, a modest Audi, or a well-equipped Tesla on a lease. That's $600 a month, plus $150 for insurance. Then there are the invisible leaks. Student loan repayments from his master's degree take $400, a few subscriptions, a gym membership he's too tired to use, and the rising cost of groceries in a post-inflation world. Add another $800 before Mark has even gone out for a single dinner or bought a flight to see his family. He has $1,250 left, one unexpected dental bill, or a friend's wedding in another state. And Mark is suddenly checking his credit card balance. Mark isn't poor, but he is trapped. He is earning a top 15% income. Yet he is living paycheck to paycheck in a gold-plated cage. The mistake Mark is making isn't that he's bad with money. It's that he has fallen for the linear consumption trap. In the United States and Europe, the economy is exquisitely tuned to absorb any excess capital a middle-class professional generates. The moment you earn more, the market presents you with solutions to problems you didn't know you had. You don't just need a car, you need a driving experience. You don't just need a place to sleep, you need amenity-rich living. We call this lifestyle creep. But that term is too gentle. It's actually lifestyle inflation, and it functions like a private tax. Consider the math of a 10% raise. If you earn $100,000 and get a $10,000 raise, you might think you have $10,000 more to invest. But after tax, that's perhaps $6,500. If you celebrate that raise by upgrading your car lease by $300 a month and moving to an apartment that costs $200 more, you've spent $6,000 of that $6,500 gain. You are working 10% harder, carrying 10% more responsibility. But your net wealth, your freedom fund, has only grown by $500 for the entire year. The system loves Mark. He is the perfect engine. He produces high value for his company, pays high taxes to the state, and immediately recycles his remaining capital back into the corporate ecosystem through leases and luxury goods. He is highly productive, yet he owns nothing of his time. Why do intelligent people do this? Why does Mark, who is smart enough to manage a department, struggle to manage a surplus? It's rarely about greed. It's about the psychological need for relative standing. In Western culture, your salary is invisible, but your consumption is public. No one knows what Mark's brokerage account looks like, but they see the car he parks in the office lot. They see the brand of his watch. In the professional world, consumption is often used as a proxy for competence. We subconsciously believe that if we look the part, we are safe in our positions. There is also the hedonic treadmill. When you spend years grinding through university or entry-level roles, you build up a reservoir of delayed gratification. When the money finally arrives, the brain demands a reward. You feel you deserve the nice apartment. You deserve the high-end vacation. The problem is that the brain recalibrates to pleasure. Very quickly, the new car smell lasts 3 weeks. The luxury apartment becomes just the place I live within a month. But the debt and the fixed costs, those stay for years. By the time the novelty wears off, your overhead is so high that you cannot afford to quit the job you're starting to dislike. You have traded your future autonomy for a present-day comfort that you've already stopped noticing. The truly wealthy, not those who simply have high incomes, but those who own their time, view money through a different lens. They don't see $1,000 as a pair of shoes or a weekend trip. They see $1,000 as a seed. If Mark took that $1,000 and invested it at a conservative 7% return, in 20 years, that single $1,000 will be nearly $4,000 without him lifting a finger. When you spend money today on a depreciating asset, you aren't just spending the cash. You are spending the future version of that cash. The financially intelligent individual in the US or Europe practices what I call aggressive mediocrity in their visible life. They might earn $150,000, but they live as if they earn $60,000. They drive the 5-year-old Toyota. They stay in the apartment that is good enough rather than impressive. By decoupling their income from their ego, they create a massive gap. The gap is the space between what you earn and what you spend. In that gap, freedom is born, while Mark is stressed because he needs his full salary to survive. The person living in the gap is calm. They know that if they were laid off tomorrow, they could survive for 2 years. They know that at 45, they could choose to work part-time or start a business. The goal isn't to be a miser. It's to realize that in the West, the greatest luxury isn't a European car or designer bag. The greatest luxury is the ability to say no. No to a toxic boss. No to a soul-crushing commute. No to the 60-hour work week. You can only say no if you have a surplus. And you can only have a surplus if you stop letting the world tell you how a person with your salary should live. If you find yourself in the middle-class trap, don't feel guilty. The entire infrastructure of modern society, from the way credit is marketed to the way social media is designed, is built to keep you right where you are. The way out isn't a side hustle or a crypto tip. It's a quiet, analytical assessment of your own life. Look at your fixed costs. Ask yourself how much of your monthly spend is for your own utility, and how much is to maintain an image for people who aren't actually paying attention. A high salary is a powerful tool, but it's only a tool if you use it to build a bigger cage. You'll never be free, no matter how much you earn. But if you use it to buy back your time, you'll find that enough is a much smaller number than you were led to believe. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, and what that keeping allows you to do with your life. If this perspective resonated with you, you might find our other deep dives into psychology of wealth useful. You're welcome to subscribe to join the conversation. Until next time,